Hello everyone, we are back for round 4 of our 5-match Modern League. And we are on the draw, and this hand is kind of slow, but it has a Shriekhorn, so that's probably good enough to keep on its own. Funnily enough, we're playing against Caleb Durward, who's actually streaming currently in the same house as me, as he is my roommate, so this should be interesting. I wasn't aware that he was currently playing Magic Online, and he probably wasn't aware that I was playing, so that's kind of funny. Yeah, as I'm in the basement and he's upstairs currently. Like I said, he is very likely streaming, as he's doing his 365-day stream right now. So he might be playing a little slower than a normal one because he's going to be talking through the plays just as I am. So he leads off with Probe. So Probe probably means some type of storm strategy is what I'm guessing. Alright, so we drew a Dredger, which is pretty lucky. So I'm going to go ahead and start by playing Neonate and start the dredging process. Alright, so we dredged some cards. We found a Bloodghast and a Grave Troll, which is not bad at all. Alright, so it looks like he's not on a Storm strategy, but actually a Grixis strategy. Alright, so for my draw step, I'm going to Dredge Grave Troll. We will play a land. I suppose I'll play Shriekhorn first. Go ahead and mill ourselves. And then I'll play a land. I'll play a land untapped. Get back our Bloodghasts, which triggers our prized amalgam. And go ahead and suspend Greater Gargadon. Orc Boat and our Bloodghasts. That's fine. I'm just going to sacrifice them, obviously. Alright, so during our upkeep, I'm going to go ahead and mill ourselves. Then we'll go to a draw step and I'll dredge a Grave Troll. Next, I'm going to get back our Blood Gas with the land. Sorry for the short silence, I was in deep thought. Then I'm going to flash back Faithless Looting. First draw we'll replace with Grave Troll. Second draw we'll also replace with Grave Troll. And then we'll discard 2 Grave Trolls. So our Graveyard Dragon currently has 7 time counters, so we'd have to sack our entire board to get it back, so not worth it at the moment. So we have a giant board that he has to deal with, which it probably is going to be pretty difficult for him to deal with this board, so pretty happy about that. Unless he has main deck Anger the Gods or something along those lines, but I doubt that he has that card in his main deck, if in his 75 at all, to be honest. Alright, so was he Snapcastering back? Oh, I didn't see that he messaged me. Unfortunately for our friend Caleb, that Forked Bolt is not going to do it for him. Go ahead and dredge Grave Troll, because why not? Or actually, we'll dredge Life from the Loam, just in case we want more lands. Hit an Archimedes anyway. Alright, so he concedes. So in this matchup, we're going to want Leyline of Void just because if we open with this card in our opening hand, it's fantastic. He's a Snapcaster deck, so it's hard to say what his graveyard hit of choice will be. So I don't think we really need to preemptively board in too many things. Maybe Collective Brutality is a decent one as well. Maybe not on the Collective Brutalities. We'll decide on that in a bit. As for boarding cards out, I'm not a fan of Dark Blast. I'm not a fan of Greater Gargadon in this matchup because he probably has just Terminates that he can just kill the Gargadon with. And I could see cutting Haunted Dead. Yeah, so maybe we'll keep the Haunted Dead just because it has the ability to grind out games. We'll be able to just cut a Rally the Peasants instead. Alright, so I can get behind this. If we see any additional graveyard hate in his deck post-board, then we can probably adjust our sideboarding. But I think this configuration is probably good for now. so we'll go ahead and submit. Alright, this hand's pretty good. It has a ley line of the void, most importantly, which is fantastic against Grixis, but it also has some dredge enablers and technically a dredge card, so it's not a perfect hand by any means because we don't have like a grave troll or a way to stop his graveyard hate, but I think it's definitely good enough to keep. So I'm going to go ahead and put this ley line onto the battlefield. He leads with a Delver. And we did draw a Grave Troll, which is pretty much the perfect draw, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and start milling right away. Okay, but he surgicals our Grave Troll in response, which is really good for him. So that's just going to be much harder to get our dredge engine going, but as long as we can survive long enough, then it's pretty inevitable that we eventually find another dredger. We do just still get to draw a card with our Neonate, just not dredging it. And we drew another Shriekhorn, which is not bad at all, actually. Alright, so this turn I think double Shriekhorn is a very reasonable play. I'd like to save our Faithless Looting until we get a Dredger in the graveyard, so I'm going to go ahead and play one Shriekhorn and then mill ourselves to see if we hit a Dredger. We did not hit a Dredger, so I'm just going to go ahead and play the other Shriekhorn. Alright, so during their upkeep I'm just going to mill 4 more cards just to see what we can hit. And then dredge our Stinkweed Imp. And at this point I think it's pretty safe to play a Faithless Looting. With the first replacement effect, we'll dredge Stinkweed Imp, and the second one will dredge Life Moon. Alright, so he just gives up. That was a pretty comical win. But that's just the power of Dredge. Against like Fairy decks with Dredge, with like Grixis, Delver, even with his one graveyard hit card, it just wasn't good enough, and we won pretty easily. Alright, so that was round 4, and we will be back for round 5 in just a few moments.